So, hello, welcome to my Transforming Your Workplace Through Kindness and Wellbeing masterclass. So I am recording it so that I can send it out because quite a few people registered aren't able to actually attend, which is the nature of these things. So I'm delighted to welcome you to today's presentation, and it's called Transforming Your Workplace Through Kindness and Wellbeing. And it's all about kindness and wellbeing at work. I'll be providing an introduction into workplace wellbeing, exploring how it's evolved and its significance. And it's fascinating to see how perspectives on employee wellness have shifted over time. So from historical approaches that focus primarily on physical health to modern understandings that encompass mental, emotional, and social aspects. So this evolution reflects a deepening awareness of what well-being truly means. And then we're going to look at the role of kindness in leadership and well-being. And this segment highlights how kindness is not just a personal virtue, but a strategic asset in leadership. And then we'll explore how empathetic, compassionate leadership can create a more cohesive and resilient and productive teams. So our journey will continue through various models of well-being, and it will examine one particular model that have been developed to understand and enhance well-being at work. And then we'll also look into why well-being matters, which hopefully will arm people with some information they can take away and argue to their organisations for why well-being is complex but matters. And we'll also look at some common barriers to well-being in organisations and to ones that individuals face. And then we'll have some takeaways. And then I will finally introduce Thrive, which is a new initiative that embodies the principles we've discussed today. And Thrive is designed to transform workplace environments into spaces where well-being and kindness aren't just encouraged, but are integral to the culture. So thanks for joining me. And I hope this presentation not only informs, but also inspires you to champion well-being in your professional sphere. So let's embark on this journey together. First of all, they were using Zoom. If you could mute and use the chat for any questions, that would be great. So you can mute by the left-hand corner as you look at it, and then questions in the chat, and I'll answer them in the Q&A at the end. So, and I'll introduce myself a bit more on the next slide. So our focus is very much on the vital role of workplace well-being and how kindness can be a really powerful part of that. So thank you for sharing a bit of your time with us today. And as we proceed, remember that our session today is more than just learning about concepts. It's about really understanding some of them. We obviously only have an hour. This is very much a skirt across the top, but it's a good start of a conversation. So I just want to give you some words that I find quite inspiring. So kindness in words creates confidence. Kindness in thinking creates profoundness. And kindness in giving creates love. And with these words in mind, let's have a look into today's journey and be open to learning, sharing and growing together. So thank you for being here, and I'm looking forward to a lively and engaged session. So I'm Helen Rimmer, and I bring over 20 years of experience in libraries and higher education, where I've built a reputation as a kind, brave leader. And my focus is on creating positive, inclusive work environments that empower individuals to excel. I hold a PG cert in the psychology of kindness and wellbeing at work. And this has ensured that my leadership style has always been deeply rooted in fostering wellbeing and promoting kindness. And in addition to my professional roles, I've been published. I have a book coming out soon called The Kind Librarian. So if there's any librarians in the audience who want to share any case studies around kindness and wellbeing, please let me know. And then outside of my work, I balance my balance of fulfillment comes from spending quality time with my family, swimming, reading, and watching a lot of film. And through the Kind Brave Leader, I aim to guide you in unblocking your own leadership style that combines kindness with bravery, encouraging meaningful, positive change in your life. So as we move on, we'll move into an introduction to workplace wellbeing. So we'll explore it in more depth, dissecting its various components, how they interact to shape workplace experience. We'll also look at how businesses can actively engage with and enhance these dimensions of wellbeing for their employees. So first of all, what is wellbeing? So welcome to it, to this part. As we navigate through today's material, keep in mind we're exploring a state that's fundamental to all of our mental and physical health. Imagine well-being not just as the laughter shared amongst friends or the satisfaction of watching a good film. It's deep and more enduring, and it's about how well we're really doing in the grand scheme of life, both inside and out. So well-being is about flourishing. It's not just getting by. It's about thriving in our environments, rising to meet our daily challenges, and realising our full potential, both personally and professionally. It's about aligning our deepest values, those principles that guide us, such as strong work ethic, integrity, and the drive to contribute to the greater good of our communities. Now, when we say someone seems well, we're often referring to the visible signs of happiness or contentment. But feeling good is just one aspect of well-being, the part that's above the waterline. So if you look at this image of an iceberg, the part above the waterline is the feeling good, the happiness. But beneath the surface lies functioning well. And the substantial part of the iceberg is hidden from view. This may include mental toughness, emotional savvy, and the quality of our relationships, elements that are essential yet often unseen. So you can think of our iceberg as a metaphor for well-being. The tip, feeling good, is just a small part of a much larger picture. It's the robust structure under the water surface, the functioning well, that truly supports and sustains our well-being. And we're going to move on now to look at the spectrum of well-being, but it's worth remembering this image as we move forward, and as it reminds us that true well-being is about a balance between the visible joys and underlying strengths that keep us afloat. So there's a spectrum of well-being. It's not just a binary state. It exists in a spectrum, just like physical health can range from sickness to fitness. Mental well-being also has various states. So first of all, there's flourishing. That's absolute optimal well-being. It's the ideal state of well-being where individuals are thriving in multiple aspects of their lives. So they could be excelling in their career, maintaining healthy relationships, and having a strong sense of personal accomplishment. Note that flourishing includes both feeling good and functioning well. So a flourishing individual experiences happiness, but also has a strong sense of purpose and effective coping strategies. So then we have at the other end of the spectrum, floundering, mentally unwell. So this is where mental health has been compromised. It can manifest in lots of different ways. At the most extreme, depression, anxiety, other mental health issues that severely affect one's ability to function. Floundering can be temporary, and it is treatable through various methods like therapy, medication, and lifestyle changes. So this is where support from healthcare professionals and loved ones can help transition from a state of floundering to higher well-being. In the middle, we have something called languishing. You're not ill, but you're not flourishing. And it's very much that middle state. And it's a state where you're not mentally unwell, but you're not thriving. life may feel somewhat stagnant or meaningless. And there's a real risk with languishing. Obviously, the extreme risk is severe mental health issues or any mental health issues if it's not addressed. But it can also lead to a lack of motivation and reduced productivity. It can pull other people down. So what we want is people to move from languishing to flourishing. And in workplaces, we play an important part in that. We really need to make sure we do the best to ensure our teams are flourishing. So let's have a little look about how wellbeing has been approached in the past in the workplace. But it's now become very much a shared responsibility. So historically, workplace wellbeing has often focused on individual actions. So bike to work schemes, fruit bowls in the office kitchen. But let's be frank, while these are good steps, they barely skim the surface of what true wellbeing entails. These initiatives inadvertently place the entire burden of wellbeing on employees. It's as if to say, cycle more, eat better, you'll be well. And this ignores the larger, more impactful role of organisational structures and culture on shaping employee wellbeing. So the future of wellbeing is a transition from individual responsibility to organisational accountability. It's about crafting environments that foster wellbeing at every level. How do we develop these comprehensive wellbeing strategies? It starts with understanding diverse needs of your workforce. And this means going beyond physical health to include mental, emotional, and even financial wellbeing. It's about creating policies that support flexible working, mental health days, but much more, a culture that celebrates diversity and inclusivity, that is psychologically safe, and that everybody in it feels valued and feels able to do their job to the best of their ability. And the impact of this shift is monumental. When organisations actively participate in employee wellbeing, we see a ripple effect, enhanced job satisfaction, increased productivity, and a more harmonious workplace. Organisations can start by conducting wellbeing assessments, engaging in open dialogue with employees, and developing policies that genuinely address their holistic needs. But this involves a commitment to continuous learning and adapting. It also means listening and hearing the difficult things our teams and our colleagues are saying. And it's ensuring that the wellbeing strategies evolve with changing employee needs and societal trends. So to sum up, the future of wellbeing transcends individual actions like cycling or healthy eating. It's about systemic change and building an environment where everyone thrives. We're ushering in a new era where wellbeing is a collective commitment, not just an individual endeavour. So let's move on to some statistics. It's always helpful to have some statistics. So as we step into a post-COVID-19 era, our attention turns now to a report that Deloitte undertook that scrutinises the ever-evolving concept of wellbeing in the corporate sphere. But I'm sure much of this can be translated into many different organisations. This report was undertaken in 2022, and it very much looks at how the landscape of wellbeing has been reshaped significantly. And this is compelling organisations to revisit how it's defined and implemented within the modern workplace. The report prompts us to reflect on key inquiries. How is wellbeing understood and catered to in our workplaces? By what means can we measure its presence and impact? Should our organisations make a concerted effort in wellbeing? And importantly, how should it be integrated into our organisational fabric? So, drawing on a comprehensive survey conducted in collaboration with the Institute of Directors and II IIRSM, the report gathers perspectives from over 30,000 directors and risk managers. So a striking revelation is that 50% have seen business performance enhance with a focus on well-being. Now, the report shed light on several critical findings. Health, encompassing mental and emotional facets, is paramount in the well-being discussion, as indicated by 67% of directors. But a strategic transition is essential from a state of reactivity to proactive well-being strategies that foster empowering and flexible work environments. And leadership plays a pivotal role here. The survey indicates that senior leaders are seen as the custodians of well-being strategies, setting the precedent for subsequent implementation by managers and functional heads. However, the report identifies a significant gap. A mere 16% have markedly upped their investment in well-being. And it would be interesting if you could find out how that reflects in your organisations, because this finding points to a need for definitive metrics and targets to substantiate the efficiency and return on investment of wellbeing initiatives. So thanks to Deloitte and the contributors to this report, and their insights were instrumental because it will really help us chart a course for wellbeing in every organisation. I'd like you to consider this statistic. 50% of directors noted an uptick in business performance with a wellbeing centric approach. Now, this number alone speaks volumes about the strategic value of wellbeing. So we can use these insights as a springboard for deeper discussions on embedding wellbeing into the core of organisational strategy. We now move on to explore the role of kindness in leadership and wellbeing. So kind leadership is a concept that emphasises the importance of compassion, empathy, and support in the leadership role. It contrasts with traditional views of leadership that often focus on authority, control, and sometimes intimidation. Kind leadership is significant because it creates an environment where employees feel valued, understood, and supported. One of the critical aspects of kind leadership is its impact on well-being. When leaders are kind, they create a positive atmosphere that can reduce stress and anxiety in the workplace. This, in turn, can lead to improved mental health among employees, which is crucial for maintaining a productive and harmonious work environment. Kind leaders often encourage work-life balance, recognise the individual needs of their team members, and strive to understand and address these needs. This contributes significantly to the overall well-being of their staff. Moreover, kindness in leadership is not just about being nice. It's a strategic approach that can lead to transformation within an organisation. Kind leaders are often seen as more approachable, which means that employees may be more likely to share ideas and concerns. This openness can foster innovation and agility, as the flow of information is not impeded by fear or distrust. When team members feel secure and know that their contributions are valued, they are more likely to take initiative and show commitment to their work. In the context of leadership strategy, kind leadership can be seen as an investment in capital. By focusing on the well-being of employees, leaders can minimise turnover, reduce the costs associated with burnout and absenteeism, and improve the overall performance of their team. A kind approach to leadership can also enhance the reputation of an organisation, making it more attractive to potential employees and customers who value a positive company culture. As the understanding of what drives motivation evolves, it's clear that leaders can effectively combine kindness with clear vision and strategy, are well placed to guide their organisations through complexities of the modern business environment. The transformation led by kind leaders is often more sustainable, as it is built on the foundation of trust, respect, and collective well-being. The link between kindness and leadership and well-being is thus integral to the process of transformation within organisations. As such, the approach aligns well with positive psychology principles, which focus on fostering positive qualities and living a meaningful life, both of which are crucial for successful leadership and strategy development. So we're now going to have a quick look at models of well-being. And each model that exists offers a unique perspective on how to achieve and maintain well-being in the workplace. There are several models that have shaped our understanding of well-being. These include the PERMA model, which focuses on positive emotion, engagement, relationships, meaning, and accomplishment. But there's also the job demands resources model, which emphasises a balance between the demands of a job and the resources available to employees. But today, I'm going to really concentrate particularly on the asset model of well-being. And this model stands out partly because the Health and Safety Executive in the UK use it for their model of good management. So it seemed a good one to look at. So asset is absolutely pivotal and something that I will explore much more in the course, and is also a key model in the book I'm writing. This model encapsulates 5 fundamental elements that are key to fostering a thriving work environment. First of all, autonomy. This is a vital ingredient in the recipe for employee satisfaction. It's about giving team members control and flexibility over their work. And then next is social support. The importance of a supportive network in a workplace cannot be overstated, especially in terms of mental and emotional health. Skilled communication forms the bedrock of effective workplace relationships. It's not just about what we communicate, but how we do it. Then we have empowerment. This goes beyond mere task delegation, encompassing the way employees are involved in decision making and idea generation. And lastly, we have training and development. This isn't just about acquiring new skills, but it's also about personal and professional growth, which keeps employees engaged and motivated. So in my course, we'll dive into these elements much deeper and unpack their complexities. But this overview is a tip of the iceberg, and it's worth thinking about for yourselves how each of these impacts your well-being, because they won't all impact everybody the same way. Some people will need more autonomy, some people need more social support, some people need to be more empowered, but you will need a bit of all of these to be truly well at work. So really worth having a think about that. So now we're going to really look at the fundamental question of why does well-being matter? Obviously, we talked earlier about how much it had been an individual concern, that organisations were guilty quite often of pushing it back on the individual. They tick that box by offering bananas, but they or yoga at lunchtime. And while actually they're all good things, there's a lot more that needs to happen. And it's very much not just about feeling good. It's about creating sustainable, productive and fulfilling work environments. So it goes to the very core of what we are as organisations. We need to be systemic in how we look at how our organisation works. So everything's working, and then well-being will also be a real, much easier to do. Well-being is a really powerful driver of productivity. When employees are mentally, emotionally and physically well, they're much more engaged, creative and effective. So we're going to look at that. We're then going to look at well-being as a key retention strategy. So how offering a workplace that prioritises employee well-being is not just attractive, but it's essential for retaining top talent. And as younger people come into the workforce, they value this more and more over the pay they get. Although, if you think about financial well-being, making sure everyone is remunerated correctly and in a way that supports their well-being is obviously also key. We'll also discuss the hidden costs associated with neglecting well-being. And this can range from increased absenteeism, lower morale, and it can affect not just individual employees, but an entire culture. So, and then lastly, we'll look at what the return on investment is for prioritising wellbeing. Investing in employee wellness isn't just the right thing to do. It's a strategic decision that yields significant returns in terms of productivity, engagement, and overall organisational health. But before we do that, we're just going to take a couple of minutes to do a little self-reflection. So I want you to consider, how often do you witness acts of kindness in your work environment, and how do these moments impact your feelings towards your job and colleagues? So reflect both upon the frequency and quality of these acts. Think about the moments of support, understanding, or empathy you've experienced or observed. And how do these instances of kindness shape the atmosphere of your workplace and your personal well-being within it? Now, this reflection is just for you to be honest with yourself. So there's no need to share your thoughts or allow yourself a couple of minutes to truly ponder on the role of kindness in your professional life. So I'll just give you a couple of minutes to do that. I hope that couple of minutes gave you a little bit of time to reflect on kindness in your work environment and how that impacts your own well-being and your feelings towards your job and colleagues. So moving on now to the productivity of well-being, we will talk to you now about how there's a direct link with well-being and its how it works, direct link between productivity and well-being. And I will, one second, I've just completely lost my notes, so let me just get them up again. Productivity of well-being is a concept that explores well-being and mental health directly impact on productivity in the workplace and in personal endeavours. And this approach emphasises the importance of nurturing physical, mental and emotional health to enhance overall productivity. It's a little breakdown of this concept. So there's a strong link between well-being and productivity, as I just mentioned. Where individuals are mentally and physically healthy, they tend to be more engaged, creative and reflective in their tasks. And this link is supported by numerous studies showing that wellbeing initiatives in workplaces lead to better performance, lower absenteeism, and higher employee satisfaction. So the impact of wellbeing on productivity can often be quantified. For example, companies that invest in employee wellbeing programs may see a reduction in sick leave, an increase in employee retention, and improved output. In your personal life, individuals who prioritise their well-being often experience enhanced focus, better time management, and a greater capacity to tackle complex tasks. So Google's wellness programs are, so looking at some case studies, Google's wellness program, it's renowned for its employee wellness. They offer on-site healthcare services, fitness centres, and various wellness and mental health resources. As a result, Google has consistently been ranked as one of the best places to work, with high employee productivity and innovation levels. But the Johnson & Johnson Health and Wellness Programme has been long invested, and as well as including fitness centres, mental health service, it also has a real focus on work-life balance. And studies have shown that these initiatives have led to better employee health and significant company savings due to reduced medical costs and lower absenteeism. We then have the SAS Institute, which is a software company that offers flexible working hours, childcare services, and wellness programs. And this approach has resulted in high employability retention rates, low turnover, and a reputation for high productivity and innovation within the industry. In the UK, many companies have started to recognise the importance of wellbeing. For instance, some firms have introduced mental health days or wellbeing days, some in addition to annual leave and other holiday. Also flexible working policies, in-house counselling services that go beyond EAP and that employee assistance programme, but they are available to a much higher level. And these measures have been reported to boost morale, reduce stress-related absences, and increase overall productivity. But all of these are great, but you still have to really look at the systemic issues that are making your teams unwell, because you need to invest in people. So it's more than a short-term fix, wellbeing is. It represents a strategic long-term investment in the heart of any organisation, and that's its people. When employees genuinely feel their wellbeing is a priority, it fundamentally alters their experience and the perception of their workplace. Now, this shift isn't just about feeling good. It translates into tangible benefits for the organisation. According to a study by the American Psychological Association, employees who feel valued are more likely to report higher levels of job satisfaction, and this correlates strongly with increased loyalty and lower turnover rates. This is crucial because, as reported by the Centre of American Progress, the cost of replacing an employee, this is in America, but I think it's probably similar here, can range from 16% of the salary for an hourly unsalaried employee to 213% for a more highly trained position. Thus, the financial implications of employee turnover extend far beyond the obvious expenses, touching on lost productivity, recruitment costs, and the intangible impact on team morale. So in the context of a competitive job market, an organisation's commitment to wellbeing can be a decisive factor for top talent. The 2019 LinkedIn Global Talent Trends report highlights that 57% of younger workers value a workplace that respects their work-life balance, which is a key component of wellbeing. So by fostering an environment that values this balance, organisations not only retain their existing talent, but also attract new skilled employees. And this creates a virtuous cycle where well-being leads to satisfaction, satisfaction fosters loyalty, loyalty in turn builds a workforce that is stable, skilled, and deeply engaged, and that will help the well-being of it. Deloitte did a report in 2020 on global human capital trends, and this underscored this, revealing that 94% of respondents believed well-being to be an important or very important priority of their organisation's success. Moreover, this cycle has a broader impact. Harvard Business Review reports that companies with high levels of employee well-being outperform the market by 2 to 3% per year over a 25-year period. This statistic vividly illustrates how investing in employee well-being is not just beneficial, but essential for long-term business stability and success. So moving on, what are the hidden costs of neglecting it? So The financial impact of neglecting employee well-being may not be immediately apparent, but it can significantly affect a company's bottom line in various ways. While in the UK, healthcare costs are largely not borne by employers, the indirect costs associated with poor employee health are substantial. One of the key concerns is productivity loss. When employees are unwell, either physically or mentally, their work performance suffers. This is not just about absenteeism, which is when employees are off sick, but also presenteeism, where employees come to work unwell and are unable to perform at their best. The cost of presenteeism can often exceed that of absenteeism and is a growing concern for UK businesses. Furthermore, staff turnover remains a critical issue. When employees feel their well-being is not supported, they are more likely to seek employment elsewhere. This turnover results in additional costs for the company, not just in terms of recruitment and training of new staff, but also in the loss of institutional knowledge and the impact on team morale. So investing in employee well-being, therefore, should be seen as a proactive strategy for maintaining a healthy, positive, productive workforce. It's about creating an environment where employees can thrive, which in turn sustains your company's performance and success in the long term. So there's also the return on investment of wellbeing and kindness in the workplace. So traditionally, return on investment is measured in numbers and profits. But when we shift our focus to wellbeing, we uncover hidden yet impactful returns. So let's tease you with a little statistic from my upcoming course. Research from Gallup shows that when employees engage in work that aligns with their strengths, the benefits are profound. They are 3 times more likely to report a high sense of well-being. And this heightened well-being is not just about feeling good, it translates into tangible outcomes. These employees are 6 times more engaged in their work. Engagement is a key driver of productivity, which in this context sees an 8% boost. But the benefits don't stop there. These same employees are 15% less likely to be on the lookout for new job opportunities. And this directly impacts organisational turnover rates and the associated costs for recruitment and training. So this is just a snapshot of what theories about well-being are. And later I'll tell you about my course and we'll dive deeper into fostering a workplace environment that values and promotes kindness and well-being and can yield significant returns for both employees and the organisation at large. So the return on investment in this area extends beyond traditional financial metrics. It encompasses employee satisfaction, loyalty, and overall business health. Now we'll quickly look at some barriers to well-being. These are challenges that we need to understand to promote well-being. So in this brief glimpse, we identify some common challenges, and these roadblocks range from budget constraints, where financial resources seem limited for such initiatives, but also to make the fundamental changes that we need to do to actually change our culture. Also, skepticism among leadership about the real benefits these programs offer. Then there's the hurdle of cultural resistance. So changing established norms and attitudes in the workplace is no small feat. Coupled with this is a lack of awareness of understanding of what truly effective wellbeing practices look like. And lastly, a significant challenge lies in measuring the impacts of these initiatives. If we quantify outcomes and prove return on investment in the area of wellbeing, then things speak to people in more higher positions, but it can be tricky. But it's absolutely crucial for securing ongoing support and funding. So each of these roadblocks, along with strategies to overcome them, will be thoroughly tackled in the future course. And we'll have a look at how organisations challenge them. But also, here are a few little actionable things you can take away from today and do. These are little things. They will either help you or your team. So first of all, encourage them to regular breaks, make sure you do it yourself. Get up, go for a 5-minute walk, or go and get yourselves a cup of tea. Go and stretch. If you're at home, make sure you move around your house so that you get changes of scene. Adjust your workspace. An ergonomic setup reduces physical strain and increases comfort. And this is absolutely crucial for long-term well-being. Also, try and integrate some mindful moments into your routine. Now, this could be a minute of deep breathing, counting in for 4, holding it for 4, and breathing out for 4. Or a brief meditation session to refocus and de-stress. But don't overlook the basics: nutrition, hydration, and physical activity. These are the pillars of physical well-being, and they greatly affect mental health. We can cultivate an environment of open communication, and that will really help by encouraging team members to express their thoughts and feelings in a supportive setting. But this involves a deep understanding of psychological safety and making sure anything they tell you is not used against them at a future date. We also need to think about implementing gratitude practices. If you share what you're grateful for or acknowledge others' contributions, this can boost your morale and foster positivity amongst the team. Also, thinking back to asset, remember to emphasize the importance of professional development. Continuous learning and growth opportunities can increase job satisfaction and personal fulfillment. And finally, maintain a healthy work-life balance. Make sure you've got clearly defined boundaries between professional and personal life, and that these are absolutely essential for overall well-being. And if you're a leader or a manager, you need to be sure you're modeling these good behavior as well. Now, these steps, they are straightforward, but they can profoundly impact your daily work life, leading to a more fulfilling and productive work environment. So a little summary of some key takeaways. Hopefully you realise you can recognise that wellbeing in the workplace encompasses physical, mental and emotional health. It also is an understanding of its significance in creating a productive and satisfying work environment. I hope you've got a bit of an idea of the historical context of wellbeing, and that we really need to move from that solely physical health, individualistic viewpoint to a much more holistic view that is a partnership between organisations and the people who work in them. I hope you've got a little understanding of kindness as a leadership tool. You now understand a bit about the asset model, and you could go away and look at the PERMA or job demands resources models. You also hopefully really now understand the importance of wellbeing and why wellbeing is vital for both individuals and organisations, including its impact on productivity, employee retention, and the hidden costs of neglecting employee wellness. You can also think about some common barriers, some that will be just in your workplace, some will be in the wider sector you work in, and some will be universal. And this could be resistance to change, high workloads, lack of resources or support for mental health. I've given you a few actionable steps, small steps for improvement that you can take away and have a go at. You also have a collective responsibility for wellbeing. Understand that promoting workplace wellbeing is a collective effort requiring engagement and commitment from everybody. It's not just the individual's responsibility, but equally it isn't just the organisation's responsibility. Also, hopefully a big message you can take back to your workplaces is there's a synergy between wellbeing and organisational success. That if we realise that investing in employee wellbeing is not just beneficial for the employees, but also leads to greater overall success and sustainability for the organisation. So these takeaways will help you understand workplace wellbeing, emphasise the importance of kindness leadership and its practical strategies for creating a healthier and more productive work environment. Now, before we go on to the Q&A, I just want to tell you about my new course called Thrive, which is not just a leadership course. It's a revolution in the way we approach leadership and wellbeing. Over the first 6 weeks of the year, it starts on the 8th of January, You'll dive deep into a curriculum that intertwines with the latest insights from positive psychology, the art of kindness, and the science of emotional intelligence. And what sets Thrive apart is its focus on real-world applications. You'll gain practical tools and strategies that you can immediately implement, transforming not just your leadership style, but the entire work environment. Another cornerstone of Thrive is our supportive learning community. Here, you'll connect with fellow leaders who share your vision for a kinder, more effective leadership style. Together, you'll explore and grow and redefine what it means to be a leader today. And to celebrate this launch, I'm offering an exclusive discount to my masterclass attendees and viewers. So check out your email for a special offer. So you can join Thrive to enhance your leadership skills, boost team performance and morale, and achieve an unparalleled balance in your personal and professional life. If you're ready to take the leap, then join us now. You can enroll through the email you'll receive, and you'll become the leader you're meant to be. Your path to a more rewarding, effective, and fulfilling leadership role awaits. Should you have any questions or need further information, I'm here to assist you. And let's make 2024 the year you and your teams truly thrive. So thank you for joining us, and look forward to welcoming you to Thrive. So now I'm going to open up the chat for any questions and answers. I'm going to actually stop the recording now, and I will I will share any answers and questions in the email that I send out. So let me just stop recording.